Hi guys, time for tarot for Cancer, Leo and Virgo. And this is for early October 2019, but the best time to watch it is right now. When you're drawn to it, check out my channel, hundreds of readings there. Any of them are for you if you're drawn to them, basically. Doesn't matter what your star sign is, doesn't matter what anything else is. But this is specifically for Cancer, Leo and Virgo. Early October 2019, and the first card out, this is for the sign of Cancer. We'll do a 3-card spread for each of those signs. So the first card out for Cancer is number 3, and it is the Empress. There she is. Now the Empress needs a bit of help. In a lot of ways, she's very wise, you know. She understands that everything has a season, and she understands the way that riches come forth from the earth. But she needs a bit of practicality in her life. This often comes from the Emperor, but right now it's coming from Alice herself. And it shows that you don't even have to be a grown-up to be of assistance to someone as grand as the Empress. It's also number 3. It's getting moving on the general tarot journey. It's major arcana, so it is close to your heart, Cancer. Okay, and what is the next one for Cancer then? And it is the 3 of Swords. And there we are. Now then, this really does look like the painful situation has either happened very recently, or there's a very painful situation from the past which is in our minds and which is kind of informing us and getting us to kind of go a particular way and think a particular way. Well, the thing to do is try and break those negative thought patterns if you can, my friends. That is a very, very simple thing to say, isn't it? There are, spiritual workers all over the internet saying that. But it really is the most important thing in terms of making spiritual progress into a new understanding of life, into a happier life, as it were. Actually, to be able to let go of patterns, negative patterns, and negativity. It seems such a pointless thing, but people go into it for a reason. And quite often it's something in the past and they just can't get any further than that. So the Empress is number 3, and we've actually got the 3 of Swords here. This is in a lot of ways about sort of getting things done, but it's more to do with making decisions and how we feel about a thing, So you're more likely to get to that stage of getting things done if you can be kind of self-analytical, I suppose, in a way, about this. There's a very, very dark sky there, but although the swords are stuck in this heart, it's a very nice looking sort of cakey heart thing there that we've got. Is that a cake? It sort of looks like one. And, there are good things to be happened. There are good things to come, to happen and to be had when we get that card. Because that means, the upsetting thing, the really hard thing is in the past. And by facing up to it, that's going to be the best thing. By facing up to fears about a thing like that, it's as if we're cutting open a nice new cake that we can sort of get stuck into and have some of. Okay, so there we are. Right, number 3, the Empress, and the 3 of Swords. What is the 3rd card in this spread for the sign of Cancer? October 2019. Alchemy again in the form of the Ace of Pentacles. There it is. Now, this is a great coming together of things, of course, because the Pentacles are all about earth, wind, fire, and water working together under the guidance of Spirit, under the auspices of the divine. You could even say God, if that's what you believe, but, higher chakra stuff, really important stuff, angels, everything. Alchemy, real magical things can happen. Okay, and that's why it's so important to move on from the 3 of Swords situation here. I feel that this may be actually playing into people's thoughts and feelings about 2020, which in cosmic terms we seem to be coming up to kind of a lot of big changes, and it does concern people a lot. I don't quite see what that's got to do with these 3 cards at this moment, but that's what's just come into my mind. Let's go for a significatory card. This week I'm using Ask an Angel by Tony Carmine Salerno, working out of Blue Angel Galleries, Australia. An absolutely fabulous painter he is, and Tony Carmine Salerno. So let's ask an angel, what are you telling us, please, about this 3-card spread for the sign of Cancer in early October 2019? And it is time. Micah, this came up the other day for someone, actually. Right, time. Micah. So, there is always time to be had. Time is always going on. Now, There's a question, isn't it? Is there plenty of time to come for you to get things done? Or is there plenty of time left in life, but a good idea has a shelf life and maybe that shelf life is coming to an end? Maybe it's time to get up and boogie, get up and do something. Okay, now then, the Three of Swords in particular is a thing that puts people off kind of moving on to the next step, moving on to getting things happening in a sort of new way. Life is change. If we never have change in our life, things don't tend to go terribly well. Okay, so remember this one more than any other card in this spread this week, Cancer. It's the Ace of Pentacles, and it really, really is magic, and it is there to make things happen. Give it time if you need to, but don't let too much time slip past, okay? Just don't, because life is a precious thing, time is a precious thing. All of us have only got so much of it, and that is pretty much how we've got to keep moving. Okay, so let's have a shuffle and say 3 cards spread, please, now for the sign of Leo in early October 2019. What have we for Leo in Tarot in Wonderland this week? Okay, and the first, let's put those away. The first one is the Four of Pentacles. And this is not a great situation to be in. I'm really glad it's the first card that came out in this spread, though, because when it's the first card, it's not a negative thing at all. It shows there's a bit of negativity going on around us. Mousy is in the teapot here with what looks like a tin hat on, keeping out of trouble, keeping away from things. And in this story, they don't treat Dormouse very well. In this part of the story, they really don't. So I'm not surprised he's hiding. But it's the Four of Pentacles, and we can only see 3 pentacles on the teapot. The reason for that is the 4th pentacle is actually on the biscuit there. Can you see it? And someone's already had a bite out of that biscuit. So the thing to do is get up, get busy, and like I said before, I think, get up and boogie. It's the name of an old 1970s song. I think it was Sister Sledge, was it? Someone like that. I don't know, but the thing to do, basically, keep moving, don't let the grass grow under your feet. And, just don't wear that tin hat forever. It's good to wear your tin hat to kind of keep out of trouble and make sure you're kind of being treated at least reasonably well. But if you keep it on forever, if you keep that mentality forever, you end up like those Japanese soldiers who were still fighting the Second World War in the 1970s because no one had told them it had finished. Well, a few people had told them it had finished, but they didn't believe them. Anyway, Four of Pentacles there. There is a lot of magic around that, and there is a great coming together of things, but you've got to be the one who makes the effort. You've got to come out of that teapot, get things happening. But it's a 4 number, it's a nice square sign. In some ways, it's a solid beginning. Not a happy beginning, but a solid beginning. Things get a bit happier in the second card, which is actually the Devil. It's number 15 here. And we're on to the subject of time again then, because there's the clock there. And we don't see that in the more traditional Devil cards. Excuse me. We don't see that in the more traditional Devil tarot cards. But the thing is, when the Devil comes up, it's time to get something done in a big way. It's quite important when the Devil card comes up. And we've got midday or midnight showing on the clock. I guess it's midday because it's looks like the middle of the day there rather than a dark night time. But there is the thing, time can be a good thing, time can be not so good, time can be great for getting a thing done, maybe time could be great for something else but not getting the thing done. You've got to think about this, and it's not easy to make that decision, but basically time is ticking away and something needs to get done, Leo. So contemplate that if you will. There's plenty of abundance in this scene here though, so nothing is looking too bad there. It's number 15 in the major arcana, so we are quite a long way towards completion of whatever's going on. Just got to have that push, just got to get things done. And the third card in this reading for Leo this week, here we go, Ace of Wands. Now this is great, more alchemy in a lot of ways. This is actually really a good one for getting things done, and it's a good one for getting things done that you didn't believe you could possibly do, or getting over obstacles. Maybe you do believe you can get over obstacles, but you don't know how yet. Well, this card isn't telling you how, but it's telling you that you very definitely can. Look at the absolute plume of golden light coming from the candle in this scene. And that wand there. There is only the one wand there, but that's all you need when it's the Ace of Wands. And that really does show progress is possible, guys, okay? So there we go. Come out of your tin hat. Stop hiding in the teapot. Have your pentacle biscuit. I wouldn't look at the clock too much, but there it is. And then you can get things done. Just don't hang about, Leo. That would seem to be the advice this week, but what has Tony Carmine Salerno to say? And before I've even shuffled, Archangel Azrael has fallen out of the deck, and it says here, surrender. Yeah, now then, maybe you're putting things off because of that time thing. Maybe that time thing of putting things off is something that you need to kind of give in and move forward on that basis. Maybe someone needs to give in to you. Don't hang about waiting for this to happen, guys, but do be aware that it's really an important step in the journey, okay, to give yourself up to something, basically. That is the bottom line of that one. Okay, so that is Leo for this week. Where are we with Virgo? Let's have 3 cards, please, for the sign of Virgo. And the first card that we have for you guys is the 4 of Cups. Right, now then, this doesn't look a happy scene here. Look on that turtle's face. He's not happy, is he? But the dolphin is behind him, holding aloft the cup, and lots of good possibilities can be seen in the background there. In the story, Turtle is very unhappy. You might say he's depressed. I don't think they use that word, but it's a very old book. In the story, yeah, he's basically depressed, and the characters in this story are saying, like, why is he depressed? And someone says, well, he hasn't got anything to worry about. He's just always, miserable, sees the dark side to everything. Now, I am not accusing you guys of that, Virgo, at all. But what I do want to say is don't let things bring you down. Don't let things grind you down into a paste. Life does throw bad stuff at us from time to time. And if we get up and if we move forward and we start making things happen, chances are life is going to throw a lot more at us. That seems to be the way things go. But we do need to keep on going with life. And whatever's worrying you at the moment, Virgo, this card is saying, don't let that worry be an all-consuming thing. Don't let it take you over. See, Turtle's up on a rock here. The waves aren't actually going to drown him, and they couldn't anyway because he's a turtle and he can swim. Things look and feel worse than they really are. Excuse me, right, okay. Middle card in this reading for the sign of Virgo now, 2 of Swords, there we are. So the grinning Cheshire Cat is in the background, the sea is in the background. We've got the 2 swords there, suggesting that action could happen, things could get moving. But once again, as always with the swords, we're stopping and thinking in one way or another. Why is Alice stopping and thinking? We don't know. But the 2 swords are there, and so a decision has to be made. There are 2 things, 2 different ways she could go, and she has to think about which way does she want to go. But the grinning Cheshire Cat is smiling out of the clouds there, and in this deck, he symbolises kind of divine knowledge, divine inspiration. So it is there. And if you're in the long dark night of the soul, Virgo, then this is actually coming in. There is actually going to be some help around making decisions. But the 3rd card, and we've got the 9 of Swords here, and this begins to explain things. Right, can you see, right, the rabbit, or is it the hare? I think it's the white rabbit, is in bed in the middle of the night. It's all dark. Don't know what it says on the clock there, but it's good and late. And there are all these swords hanging over his head, so he can't get off to sleep, really. Now, what he could do is he could take those swords down one at a time, just deal with one thing at a time, and there are only 9 of them, okay, less than 10. So this is something that could be got through. It's maybe not been putting it off or anything like that, but it's something that just can't seem to happen. Well, in this case, we're looking at a situation where what needs to happen is multifaceted. There's a lot of different things that need to be going on, a lot of different things that need to be happening. And there's just so much going on that it seems impossible to ever make it happen. But you can make it happen, Virgo. You really can. And it's taking that can-do attitude, which is really going to make the difference. But there's no need to think, can-do, sort out the whole world. One thing at a time, okay? Much better, really, to light a candle than to sit in darkness. That is what that card is saying. It's a very dark card as well. Okay, so let's say to Tony Carmine Salerno's Ask an Angel deck, let us please have some more significance in this reading for the sign of Virgo. And we have got Archangel Zadkiel and forgiveness. And forgiveness is a wonderful thing. We've got the turquoise colour of truth, speaking truth, but general truth being put out into the world here. So there is truth about, okay, we've got a blazing heart here, and this is the thing, there are flames in that heart, right? Well, there are flames behind that heart, and there are rays of light shooting out from it. And that is the way the human heart can be, you know. It can burn, it can be on fire, we can be angry, or we can be on fire in a positive way with a thing like love, but nothing happens until we reach that state of forgiveness. And if this is a relationship thing, maybe you need to forgive yourself for something, Virgo. That actually could be the basis of what Mr. Turtle is so upset about here. But forgiving yourself really is like taking one of these swords down and fixing it. In fact, if you forgive yourself, you might be able to handle rather more than just one sword. Okay, now there are two swords going on in your spread, Virgo, so there is more than one thing to handle there. But, you know, the Cheshire Cat is there, that divine guidance is there, that divine light is in the sky, even though all around may seem to be dark. So let the light shine. Let the light shine out of your heart, Virgo. English people know what I nearly said there. Let the light shine out of your heart and all will be well. This character's looking a bit yellow. It always makes me think, you know, think about your diet, that kind of thing. How healthy is life around you? I'm not going to sit here doing a health lecture and wagging my finger at you. You know the deal with that. There's plenty of information about that, isn't there? Goodness me. But healthy living, healthy eating, that's what that card says. As well as forgive yourself, forgive others, and be willing to keep moving on, Virgo. Okay, on that note, I'm going to end this one for this week. Thanks very much for watching. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it, and tap that bell so you don't miss anything. Many thanks to everyone who's subscribed. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, I can start doing the live mediumship through this phone thing again, which I'm very much looking forward to doing ever since YouTube cut it off about the end of February, I think it was. Okay, right, anyway, that's my psychosis sorted out. Hope that's been of some help, guys. I'll be along again very soon. Leave me a comment, we'll share the journey, and I'll see you before long. Peace.